Here.
Troyer.
Here.
Salvatore.
Here.
Mancini.
Here.
Bergio.
Here.
Powers. Here. Higgins.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we've got item C, approval of minutes of preceding meetings. We have one regular council meeting held on February 4th, 2015.
Move to accept as printed.
Second your motion.
Motion properly supported, under discussion. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it. Go to item D, remarks from the audience on any subject matter. Now's your time.
Hello, my name is Joe Markusik. I live at 13911 Bellbrook Drive. I'm hearing a lot about privatization in the city, and I want to know how you think privatization is going to solve issues. There are a lot of studies shown on privatization, and it ends up looking good at the beginning, but it ends up costing in the long run. I think that finding a way to get rid of the privatization threat would be something that the council should look into. We have managed without it this long. I think that we will be able to in the future also. We live in a disposable world, and I think that the city should step up and try and save the jobs of the people in the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, Dale.
Good evening, I'm Dale Miller, 19750 Ridgeland Avenue in Cleveland. And I know the hour is late. I just want to commend the City of Brook Park for bringing forward an application for the demolition program. And I would mention that this is a non-competitive process, so you don't have to prove your application's better than somebody else's. We're going to work with you and help you move your city forward. I would also point out that that all of the applications that we received in the first round only accounted for about 20% of the money that we allocated for this program. It's $10 million out of a total of $50 million. So if there are further things that you need to do down the line, you can apply for future rounds as well. And I was happy to hear someone made mention of the GIS system. The county is very actively trying to find as many ways as possible where we can collaborate with all of the communities in the county and help make your lives easier. Thank you.
Thank you, Dale. Councilman Higgins.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a note for the audience out here. Dale Miller's our well representing Brook Park as our county councilman for the county. So Dale, thank you for addressing us, and thank you for your patience and hanging around all night long just to address council. Appreciate it.
Thanks again, Dale. Okay, we'll move the agenda to item E, reports from standing committees. Start with Aviation Environmental, Councilman Higgins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No report this evening.
Thanks, Councilman. Go to Finance Committee, Councilman D'Amico.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Finance has 2 items on tonight's agenda.
Thanks, Councilman. Go to Legislative Committee, Councilman Troyer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Legislative has nothing on tonight's agenda.
Thanks, Councilman. Parks and Recreation, Councilman Bergio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Parks and Recreation has legislation on tonight's agenda.
Thanks, Councilman. Go to Planning Committee, Councilman Mancini.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We had a meeting last night, Monday, March 2nd. We had 2 new pieces of new business. The first was a request to approval to construct a new wireless communication tower at Aerospace Parkway. That would be 1901 Aerospace Parkway. That was approved. The second was a request for a conditional use permit to operate a used car lot, Team Ferrari Auto Sales at 16010 Brook Park Road, located in the U7B zone, and that was denied. Just so you know, on used cars, on Brook Park Road, you could have a used auto with a new, and that would be from roughly 130th to about Keystone, and that's why you see some of them over there at some of the newer auto dealerships. From 150th basically to 400 Henry Ford Boulevard, there's no auto sales, so that's what you see over there. So, but that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Go to Safety Committee, Councilman Salvatore.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Safety Committee has one item on tonight's agenda.
Thanks, Councilman. Go to Service Committee, Councilwoman Powers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Service Department has no report for tonight, nothing on tonight's agenda.
Thanks, Councilman. We'll go to Board of Zoning Appeals, Councilman D'Amico.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yesterday's Board of Zoning was canceled due to lack of applications, and applications are still being taken for April 6th. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Go to item F, reports from special committees. Start with Southwest General Health Center, Trustee, Councilman Salvatore.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We met on February 25th. The meeting opened with a moment of silence in memory of Robert T. Bennett, who was a member of our hospital board, also known as the former Republican Party chairman, and a well-respected individual, well-liked, and the moment of silence lasted quite a long memory of Robert. I figured I'd open up my report by the way we opened up our meeting the other night. I'll continue, Mr. Chairman. There were several appointments for the Health Center Board. Mike Hogan was appointed by University Hospital. Michael Duscher, MD, newly elected Vice President of the Medical Staff. Dick Hansen was reappointed to the Health Center Board. And Mark Panguni, MD, was newly elected President of the Medical Staff. The Finance Committee brought forward a capital expenditure to replace the windows in Building D. That expenditure is going to run approximately $900,000. We had a report given by our chairman that the progress is in transition for Southwest Urgent Care to change the way they do business. They went out to get some proposals, and it appears as if that we're going to be waiting on an answer from University to be running our urgent care here in Brook Park, and also the secondary unit that Southwest is affiliated with. And they figured that so they would go with University based on its economic impact as a partner with Southwest and its perfect cultural fit. As we look further into the different things that are going on at the hospital, it's quite obvious that everyone's looking for different ways to operate. They've even mentioned the possibility of shared services, which has been mentioned here quite often, and some of the other hospitals around the country. In particular, Detroit has already started a movement in that direction, Pittsburgh, and the Cleveland Clinic is now starting to look at some different ways of doing business. So I'll be coming forward hopefully very soon with some new ideas that's going to be coming out of the hospital. I'll move into the capital campaign. The money is really flowing in at a rapid pace. We just picked up 2 more sponsors for large, hefty donations. One was from MTD of $400,000 and Parker Hannafin for $500,000. The Moody rating was issued to us as of January. We have a A2 with a stable outlook, and they feel as though that's due to the strong market share that we're controlling. Closing, I have here, we have a couple upcoming events. One of them is sponsored by the hospital. It's time to give your financial plans to spring cleaning. Southwest Health Foundation will be presenting an informal seminar at the Southwest General main campus for strategies surrounding important financial topics, how to protect your investment income and your retirement, and revising your will and your afterlife plans. And lastly, we have the new chairman for the Southwest Health Foundation is Carl McLaughlin, Brett Hazard was vice chairman, and Tom Sullivan, president and CEO. And I'll just make one brief announcement. The Southwest Community Health Foundation's 25th annual golf outing is scheduled for August 6th, and I'll make sure I give everybody tickets for that. I'm sure you're all going to want to be in attendance of that. Other than that, Mr. Chairman, that's all I have.
Thanks, Councilman. We'll go to Berea Board of Education Representative Councilman Mancini.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There was a board meeting last night at Berea Mid Park High School. There will be another board meeting March 9th at the Administration Building. Just a reminder, no school this Friday, teacher conference comp day. The graduation test, they'll be starting on March 16th through the 26th. They'll be grades 10 and above. The board also approved payments to vendors for the month of December 2014, $8 million. The board also approved certificate of availability to Kadish, Hinkle, and Weaver for $46,000 for legal services. They also approved for OHSSA for $7,000 for the football quarterly finals. They also approved a check for Wellness IQ for $5,000 for liability services. Just so you know, on these snow days, we used 7 snow days so far this year. Brookview had 8 with a water break, but the district built in 31 extra days into the calendar year just in case. Schools, as you so you know, now have hours instead of days, thanks to a 2013 change. The old was 182 days minimum. Schools now have to be open for 910 hours for grades K through 6 and 1,001 for grades 7 through high school. Just so you know, also the district has roughly 6,600 students. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thanks, Councilman. We have no items on G or H. Go to item I, reports and communications from the mayor. Mayor Coyne.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have no report this evening. You have plenty of figures before you to digest.
Any members of council have any questions to the mayor? Seeing none, move to item J, reports, communication from other departments, commissions of public officials. We'll start with our city engineer and Piatek.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple items tonight. Just a quick update on the sewer project. We resumed work on Monday, yesterday morning, over on Smith, just north of Snow. The intersection there, work continues around the clock. They're out there working now, probably about in the mid-intersection right now. Hopefully before the end of the week we'll be wrapping up in that area. Again, traffic is going to be a mess over there. There's only so many ways we can do this work, so I ask everybody to bear with us and try and avoid the area if we can. Actually, Lou and I met last week, met with representatives from NOACA regarding the Snow Road resurfacing project. That's from State Route 237 all the way through to West 130th. It would include resurfacing some areas, some concrete repairs in the concrete sections, curb repairs, catch basin repairs. NOACA had indicated that this project, that they had programmed this project for state fiscal year 2016, which means we would need to sell, or we would advertise and award this contract by June of 2016. Under this program, NOACA would pay 80% of the construction, 80% of the construction administration and inspection. Brook Park would be responsible for the balance of those 20% of those 2 items, and then 100% of the design. Right now I have the overall project cost estimated at around $4 million. I hope to have legislation prepared and introduced here to council for their consideration, requesting authorization to get this project moving forward here in the near future. Lastly, I received communication from the District 1 Ohio Public Works Community Liaison regarding our application for the Smith Road Phase 4 sewer project. She had indicated that approximately 2/3 of the grant money that we had requested had become available and was allocated to our project. So right now we're about 1/3 short on the grant money that we had requested. So we're going to remain on the contingency project list until that 1/3 becomes available, and then we would request to move forward with that project. That's all I have right now.
Any members of council have any questions of the city engineer? Councilman Bergio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have on the agenda the resurfacing of West 130th from Brook Park to Lorraine Avenue, I guess. Are there going to be any updating of the traffic signal control devices there?
I don't believe so. That was a county-led project. I do have a copy of those plans. I can take a look at them a little closer and let you know, but primarily it'll be resurfacing, curb-to-curb resurfacing like, we did on Engel and Brook Park Road and similar projects.
Possibly, if they're going to be resurfacing it, I assume they're going to be installing new loop detectors there then?
I would assume if they're disturbed during the construction, then yes, absolutely, they'd be replaced.
Okay, that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Mancini.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hey, Ed, on that Smith Road project, they're kind of pretty much on schedule, I assume, huh?
They are on schedule, yes.
Yeah, I can kind of tell. And just so you know, I'm really glad to hear on that phase 4. That's really good to hear about that 2/3. Hopefully you get that 1/3. That'd be great. But that was really good to hear. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Councilman. Councilman Higgins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ed, when you said 2/3, you're talking 2/3 of that $1 million, correct?
I believe the application requested $486,000 in loan money, which we were awarded. We requested, I believe, 1.13 grant money for that project. We were allocated $755,000, so I think we're 280 short of the grant portion of that request.
Okay, so the grant money was actually shy of the $1 million then, so you get 2/3 of about almost 800.
Right. We will remain on the contingency list until, that balance of that request becomes available, if it becomes available. If it doesn't become available, then I believe in September, we would have to make a decision to move forward with the grant monies that, were available at that time, or resubmit an application for the next program year.
Okay, thank you, Ed. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Powers.
Thank you. Through the chair to Mr. Patek. Ed, back to the West 130th Street project. What is that going to cost us?
Nothing.
It says in our funding that we will be sharing the cost.
And that cost will be taken, the county will take that money, the share out of the license plate tax. So there'll be no outlay from the city funds.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move the agenda. The Service Director, Luke Payette.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Battling some snow again. We had about a 26-hour storm over the weekend. And today we had an ice storm that we took care of. Anyway, salt's getting low. We did put an order in and did get a load, but the guy was supposed to deliver to Berea. And he dumped it in the Park and he said, "Hey, you guys load me back up?" I was going to tell him no, but I felt bad for him. I don't want him to lose his job. Other than that, not much more to report, except for the water breaks I should report on. We do have a lot of water breaks out there that we have been contacting the city of Cleveland, and they've been pretty good on getting on top of them. There was a big one today on Smith Road by Ramore and Bofin, right in that area there, which kind of screwed traffic up there, sending them down Ramore, I believe, and then down Dolores, and it was a mess. So as the weather is clearing up, as we get some warmer weather, we'll be able to get out there, saw cut these water breaks up, get them concreted in as the weather gets better for us. Thank you.
Thanks, Lou. Councilman Mancini.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Lou, yeah, the guys, I'm sure the last 7 weeks they've been working around the clock, and I'm sure they're getting tired, but they're doing a good job. I know I told you about the side streets, and so much better now. What a lot of the residents are praising you guys on is getting that big chunk of snow out of some of them intersections and areas like that and getting rid of it. I think a lot of people really appreciate that. I see the guys are working pretty much around the clock on that. So I just want to tell you that's a good job on that. I see them bucket loaders out there, and I tell a lot of people I wish we could get everywhere. I wish we could get every cul-de-sac, every big intersection, every driveway to get them, knock them mounds down, but I know that can't be done, but they're doing a good job on that. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Councilman. Move the agenda to our Safety Director, Dave Burns.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have no report tonight.
Thanks, Dave. Any member of council have any questions to our safety director? Seeing none, we'll move to our law director, Neil Jameson.
No report, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Neil. Any member of council have any questions to our law director? Seeing none, we'll go to our recreation director, Mary Ann Fields.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Basketball's winding down. This is our last week. We're getting into playoffs this week. Midnight Madness for the kids ages third grade through 8th grade, Friday, March 20th from 8 p.m. till midnight. That's one of our annual basketball activities we do with the kids. Our next youth dance is going to be Friday, March 27th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. It was a great turnout last time. We're going to do it again this time. We're going to probably do one once a month for all of the kids. And I sent out letters and asking for donations for our annual Easter egg hunt, which will be Saturday, March 28th from 12 to 2. Hope that you guys can come out and attend as well.
Thanks, Mary Ann. Councilman Mancini.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mary Ann, again, I'm good with the compliments right now, so I'll keep rolling. I know that front desk situation got rectified, and you did a very good job on that. Also, that game that my team played in, and we won on a couple illegal players, and you and Andre handled that right away, very prompt, and the city of Berea was very good on that, and I want to compliment you guys on that. And actually, I got to let you know, because you were here last week, that dance was very good. That dance you had that Friday, Carl brought that up. That worked out very well. Andre had, on that day off, he had the kids do a little disco thing in every early afternoon in the community room, and that went really well, too. So I want to compliment you on them things. That went very well, okay?
Thank you.
And I hear that, so thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman D'Amico.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, through the chair to Mary Ann. Mary Ann, when's the, as I'm thinking spring fever for baseball, when's the applications and all that's come out for sponsorships, et cetera?
It should be coming out shortly within the next couple of weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We'll move the agenda to our finance director, Greg Sinkel.
No report, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Greg. Any member of council have any questions of the finance director? Seeing none, we have no items on K. We'll go to item L. We have one item, miscellaneous business appointments and confirmations. We have one rec commission member, Victor Roman, a 5-year term.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've consulted with past rec commission members and present, and I also talked with all the members of City Council, and Vic's been doing a great job, and I'm recommending him to be returned for another term.
I'll support that.
There's a motion properly supported. Michelle, please call the roll.
Bergio,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
D'Amico,
Yes.
Troyer,
Yes.
Salvatore,
Yes.
Mancini,
Yes.
Powers. Yes.
Okay, Vic Roman has got another 5-year term on our rec commission. Congratulate, goes to Victor. Okay, we'll go to item M, introduction of resolutions ordinance on our first reading. We have two. Ordinance number 9959-2015.
Enacted by the City of Brook Park, Cuyahoga County for the resurfacing of West 130th Street, CR-48 from Brook Park Road to Lorraine Avenue, introduced by Mayor Coyne.
Ordinance number 9959-2015 had its first reading. Go to ordinance number 9960-2015.
Introduced by Mayor Coyne, authorizing the mayor to advertise requests for qualifications, RFQs, for an energy efficiency project and declaring an emergency.
Ordinance number 9960-2015 had its first reading. Go to item N, introduction of resolutions and ordinances on second reading. Ordinance number 9957-2015.
Mr. Chairman?
Move to amend.
Councilman Salvatore.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to take this opportunity to propose a few amendments. I'd just like to let everybody know that most of the members of council worked very diligently on this. We've talked back and forth for the last several weeks, meeting with the finance director as well as the mayor, trying to get this budget balanced and eliminate our structural deficit. So on my first amendment, proposed amendment, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to go to the council. Contractual services, the original appropriation of $12,492.43, adjusted amount of $15,000, adjusted appropriation $27,492.43. I think everybody should have a copy of it. Mr. Chairman, do you want these all at once, or do you want them one at a time?
We can do them all at once, or do you, what's council's pleasure? Want them one at a time, or do you want them all at one time? Go ahead.
One at a time. I haven't had time to look at these. I've sent out my proposals.
Okay, you'll be recognized as well. Okay, so we'll go one at a time. Go ahead, Rick, one at a time.
Okay, that's my first amendment then.
Support. There's a motion made, properly supported, under discussion.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Troyer.
what's the reason for this, Councilman Salvatore?
That's, that one there is on that, the legislative update that we all talked about.
Yeah, we were discussing on making the residents aware through communications, and there was an additional funds needed in order to do that properly. And that's what that First Amendment is for.
Oh, what we were presented tonight, on the...
List of the communications.
Okay.
This is the council's budget.
All right, go ahead.
Sure.
Salvatore?
Yes?
Higgins?
Yes.
Powers? I don't know enough about it to make a...
Just, pardon me?
I don't know enough about it because it looks like we've got a pretty good communications budget as it is, and I know we spent a lot last year on communications, but do we really need to spend that much this year?
It's just, it's a vote. It's yes or no vote.
Okay, it's no.
Okay.
Bergio?
Yes.
Mancini?
Yes.
Troyer?
Yes.
D'Amico?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, if I may continue.
Continue.
Under the Clerk of Council, Personal Services, original appropriation of $105,826.77, adjusted amount $15,231.32, adjusted appropriation at $90,595.45.
Support.
Is a motion properly supported? Under discussion. Shall please call the roll.
Salvatore?
Yes.
Bergio?
Yes.
Mancini?
Yes.
Powers? No. Higgins?
Yes.
D'Amico?
Yes.
Troyer?
Yes.
Let me continue, Mr. Chairman.
Continue.
Under Community Development, Personal Services, original appropriation of $117,371.20, adjusted amount $3,876.55, adjusted appropriation $113,494.65.
Support. Is a motion made, properly supported, under discussion. Shall please call the roll.
Salvatore?
Yes.
D'Amico?
Yes.
Troyer?
Yes.
Mancini?
Yes.
Bergio?
Yes.
Powers? No. Higgins?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, under Recreation, Personal Services, original appropriation $478,602.02, adjusted amount $5,567, adjusted appropriation for $473,035.02.
Support. Motion made, properly supported, under discussion. Shall please call the roll.
Salvatore?
Yes.
Higgins?
Yes.
Powers? No. Bergio?
Yes.
Mancini?
Yes.
Troyer?
Yes.
D'Amico?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Council. Under Human Resources, Personal Services, original appropriation of $104,442.79, an adjusted amount of $3,834.10, adjusted appropriation $100,608.69.
Support. So motion made, properly supported, under discussion. Shall
Yes,
please.
Mr.
Councilwoman Powers.
The reason, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The reason I am voting no on all of these is because I don't feel that they have been cut nearly enough. So that's, if you can tell me how he arrived at those figures and deciding that that was a token cut, then, yeah, I just think that we should be cutting more than this.
Mr.
We've
Chairman?
got a budget problem.
I can answer that, and I will refer after I answer that, I would ask the finance director to concur if he does or doesn't. But these are the suggestions that we picked up from discussions that we had with you relative to rolling back the salaries, the salary range to fall in line with what people are being paid. Is that correct, Mr. Chairman, or Mr. Finance Director?
Through the chair, Councilman Salvatore, that is correct.
Thank you. Am I continue?
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Troy.
I just need a second here to look at these numbers, because your numbers are a little different than what we started with. If you would, human resources, we had it at 117,981, and you have it at starting at 104.
Mr. Chairman, if I may answer that, these numbers are all been certified by the Finance Director.
Okay.
Michelle, call the roll.
Salvatore,
Yes.
D'Amico,
Yes.
Troyer,
Yes.
Mancini,
Yes.
Vergio,
Yes.
Powers,
No?
Higgins.
Yes.
Thanks again, Mr. Chairman. I'll move to the Safety Director, Personal Services, 126, original appropriation, excuse me, 126,585.37, adjusted amount $6,342.82, and the adjusted appropriation now being $120,242.55.
Support.
Motion made, properly supported, under discussion. Michelle, please call the roll.
Salvatore,
Yes.
Vergio,
Yes.
Mancini,
Yes.
Powers,
No.
Higgins,
Yes.
D'Amico,
Yes.
Troyer.
No.
I move to the Police Department, under Personal Services, the original appropriation, $3,746,647.75. The adjusted amount, $48,754.31. The new adjusted appropriation of $3,697,893.44.
Support. Motion made, properly supported, under discussion. Councilwoman Powers.
We had 2 people that retired out of this department, and if we have saving those 2 salaries, then there should have been a bigger cut, because we saved 2 salaries out of there. The 2 salaries, the PERS, etc.
Thanks, Councilwoman. Michelle, please call the roll.
Mr. Chairman?
Okay, Councilman Troy.
I just want to make a point here. This is the first I've seen any of these numbers. I mean, so we didn't have anything. We came up with some of our suggestions last meeting, and then we put our amendments out there yesterday. How our proposals would work, and now we're without any without being asked or had any of these numbers given us ahead of time. I know some of them do mirror what we wanted to do, which is why I voted for the ones. But there's some here. The police department, fire department, I have had no time to look into this and see what I'd want to do and why I'd want to do this. So, I'll vote no on the ones I haven't had time to look at, and I'll vote yes on the ones that match what we want to do. So that's why I'm voting this way, but we had no prior knowledge of any of this, of any of these numbers. So, we just got to vote accordingly. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr.
Michelle. Councilwoman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think that Mr. Troyer is absolutely right. I was handed this by Mr. Higgins just when we started discussing this. So I don't think we should even be voting on any of them until we actually have time to study it. And like I said, we had all those layoffs last year, and it wasn't reflected in the budget that we had originally. And when you break it down by departments, then I don't have time to know where those layoffs occurred and which of these funds it should have affected. But we should not be having the same budget with 18 fewer people on the payroll that we had last year. So I think that we should just table this and we can discuss it, but I don't think we should be voting on it.
There's a motion on the floor, it's been properly seconded, so we have to call the roll on it. Michelle, call the roll.
Salvatore,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Powers,
I don't even know what I'm voting on. The motion on the floor is to,
To amend.
You already read it.
He read the amendment.
okay, he read it to amend it. No, my answer is no.
Bergio?
Not tonight.
Yes.
Yes.
Mancini,
Yes.
Troyer,
No.
D'Amico.
Yes. Okay,
Okay, we'll move to the fire department. The original appropriation of $3,437,784.48. Adjusted amount $159,276.50, which is an adjusted appropriation of $3,278,507.98.
support. The motion properly supported, under discussion. Michelle, please call the roll.
Salvatore,
Yes.
D'Amico,
Yes.
Troyer,
No.
Mancini,
Yes.
Bergio,
Yes.
Powers,
No.
Higgins.
Yes.
The building department, original appropriation of $521,605.66. Adjusted amount $13,888.64 for adjusted appropriation of $507,717.02.
Support.
Motion made, properly supported, under discussion. Michelle, please call the roll.
Salvatore,
Yes.
Bergio,
Yes.
Mancini,
Yes.
Powers,
No.
Higgins,
Yes.
D'Amico,
Yes.
Troyer.
No.
Service director, under personal services, original appropriation $185,347.26. Adjusted amount $62,716.05. With the new adjusted appropriation of $122,631.21.
Support.
Motion made, properly supported, under discussion. Michelle, please call the roll.
Salvatore,
Yes.
Higgins, Powers,
No.
Bergio,
Yes.
Mancini,
Yes.
Troyer,
Yes.
D'Amico.
Yes.
Thank you. And then we'll go to the transfer and refunds. The original appropriation of $2,254,300. The adjusted amount of $60,000. The adjusted appropriation of $2,194,300.
Support.
It is a motion made, properly supported, under discussion.
Yes.
Councilwoman Powers.
I'd like to know where this is transfers and refunds, where it's transferred from, and why we need to adjust it, and where it's going to go.
Greg, would you like to answer that?
Sure, I can answer. Through the chair to Councilwoman Powers, it's a reduction in transfers to the police pension and fire pension.
And where, and it just stays in the general fund as extra money in there?
The appropriations through the chair to Councilwoman Powers, the appropriations in the general fund will be reduced by $60,000 per this proposed amendment.
Mr. Chairman, these things that we're voting on tonight, when we get the adjusted budget next week or next meeting, can we further adjust these?
If you make a motion, you get a second, and all your colleagues agree with you, yes, you can.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Michelle, please call the roll.
Salvatore,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Powers,
No.
Bergio,
Yes.
Mancini,
Yes.
Troyer,
No.
D'Amico.
Yes.
Then total general fund would be $91,005.73. Adjusted amount, $364,487.29, and adjusted appropriation now being $10,726,518.44.
Support.
Okay, there's a motion made, properly supported, under discussion. Michelle, call the roll.
Salvatore,
Yes.
Bergio,
Yes.
Mancini,
Yes.
Powers,
No.
Higgins,
Yes.
D'Amico,
Yes.
Schreier.
No.
Okay, we'll move into the economic development, the community development, the contractual services, $141,547.94. The adjusted amount, $690,000. Adjusted appropriation, $831,547.94.
Support. There's a motion made, properly supported, under discussion. Michelle, please call the roll.
Salvatore,
Yes.
D'Amico,
Yes.
Schreier,
No.
Mancini,
No.
Bergio,
Yes.
Powers,
No.
Higgins,
Yes.
Okay, so supplies and materials, original appropriation, $1 million, adjusted amount, $1 million, adjusted appropriation, 0.
Support. There's a motion made, properly supported, under discussion.
Yes. I'd like to know,
Powers.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to know what it was appropriated for and why you took it away. Mr. Salvatore.
It's going to be described in the latter part of this, of these amendments.
Right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Michelle, call the roll.
Salvatore,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Powers,
No.
Bergio,
Yes.
Mancini,
No.
Schreier,
No.
D'Amico.
Yes.
The capital outlay, the original appropriation is 0. Adjusted amount, $270,000. Adjusted appropriations, $270,000. And that's going to go towards the sidewalk and the cross connection programs. Supports, we'll be discussing in a minute.
There's a motion made, properly supported, under discussion. Michelle, please call the roll.
Salvatore,
Yes.
D'Amico,
Yes.
Schreier,
No.
Mancini,
No.
Bergio,
Yes.
Powers,
No.
Higgins.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to police department under original appropriation of $604,465.31. Adjusted amount $9,371.21. Adjusted appropriations $595,094.10.
Support.
Motion made, properly supported, under discussion. Michelle, please call the roll on the motion.
Salvatore,
Yes.
D'Amico,
Yes.
Schreier,
No.
Mancini,
Yes.
Bergio,
Yes.
Powers,
No.
Higgins.
Yes.
The fire pension fund, original appropriation is $708,543.52. Adjusted amount $37,680. Adjusted appropriation $670,863.52.
Support. Motion made, properly supported, under discussion. Seeing none, Michelle, call the roll, please.
Salvatore,
Yes.
D'Amico,
Yes.
Schreier,
No.
Mancini,
Yes.
Bergio,
Yes.
Powers,
No.
Higgins.
Yes.
Total changes equaled $451,538.50. Going into the clarification and explanation of the amendments. The economic development program, there was $500,000, $150,000 towards the sidewalk program, the 50-50 split that we talked about earlier. The housing program will be placing $150,000 into the housing program for hopefully for the acquisition and redevelopment of some properties. Excuse me. $120,000 into a well-needed and cross-connection program that we've also talked about at great length. And bringing back our senior services program, we'll be placing in $80,000 into that fund to be discussed at a later date exactly how it will be implemented and what programs will be brought back, and hopefully grass and snow removal. By passing those amendments and accepting these programs, I think what we've done here today, and I'm going to go to the finance director for clarification with his knowledge and expertise in this field. Can you tell me that we balanced the budget and we eliminated our structural deficit?
Through the chair to Councilman Salvatore. By the amendments that were made today and supported with respect to the general fund, at last week's meeting, the proposal that was before council, before the amendments, showed a structural deficit of $275,567. As a result of these changes, again, just speaking to the general fund, there's now a surplus. The structural deficit has been eliminated, and there's a surplus of $86,471.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and also, Mr. Chairman, if I may, could you please call a roll on the programs that we are going to adopt this evening?
On the program,
Support.
okay, there's a motion made, properly supported.
I would like to reiterate those programs because I think they're really important and they should be heard. And I would like to compliment the members of council who have worked so diligently, and a couple of them, they know who they are. We were talking till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I woke the mayor up at 6:30 one morning to try to work out the details on some of this stuff. So I'm very proud of what the direction that we're heading in. I know there's a lot of work to do, but again, economic development is very important for the future of this community. The sidewalk program, you heard what Michael Dolan said about street appeal. And we had that program before, and it was a huge success. A housing program is long overdue, in my opinion. Cross-connection program is vitally important for our residents that are experiencing flooding, and our senior citizens are a well-deserved group of people that deserve our attention, and hopefully that this will put them back where they belong to be. And thank you again, Mr. Chairman, and members of council. Thank you, Mayor, for your help, and Greg Single, thank you.
Shall call the roll.
Salvatore,
Yes.
Point of order. What are we calling this on? There's no amendment.
These are just on the programs that they passed.
Yeah,
That's
I
just showing
I
support.
don't think this is proper to do this. There's no legislation, we're not amending anything. It's just something that's written on a page.
Okay. Go ahead, Councilman. He has the floor.
I don't
Do you have
think
an
there's
amendment?
any reason to call a roll on anything or have a vote because there's nothing to vote on. It's just something that's figured it's at the bottom of the page.
Mr. Chairman,
I mean, we
Go ahead,
have
Councilman
separate legislation for these.
I understand it. Councilman Salvatore.
Mr. Chairman, I think it's very important that we call the roll on this. All these amendments led up to this. This is the bottom line of these amendments, and balancing a budget and getting rid of a structural deficit and telling everybody where we're going to put the money, where it's going to go. Everybody's asked for transparency. A couple members of council have asked for it. Where's the money going to go? So that's where it's going to go. And we're identifying it.
I understand that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to reiterate that. I think it's important that we have a vote on this because that solidifies where we are spending the money. We're not just taking the money and putting it into the fund. These items are line item marked and we'll be doing the programs. That's my opinion, at least.
We're going to poll council on a vote.
Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I think it's in order to have a program narrative as part of the document. It's an explanation of the amendments that were made, and I think the narrative is in order, in whatever form the council president determines.
All those in favor of the programs, raise your right hand. All the amendments are made for those programs, raise your right hand. Those that don't, hands are down. Move forward. You have
I will abstain on that.
Do you have an amendment, Councilman Troyer?
Yeah, I will, but I just want to, on what we just went through the chair to Mr. Single, how does that affect our reserve fund balance, fund reserve balance?
through the chair to Councilman Troy, are you referring to the fund balance reserve policy?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, it will increase the projected fund balance from the 1/1/2015 balance of $2,680,330.20, up approximately $86,471.
Okay, thank you. I do have an amendment. I'm going to have to adjust it now because
Go ahead.
things have changed. So I'd like to, excuse me, motion to amend to delete the $1 million transfer from 827 transfers by, all right, so page two, now this has changed. So,
Is this under your proposal?
Page
on my,
on which document are you using, Councilman?
on your main, your leg,
On
Legislative.
the legislation.
okay, page two, 880, 827. No, it's already been changed by 60,000. So,
Does everybody have, or everybody at it?
Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Take your time, hold on, let's get everybody.
On that.
okay, 880, which is now, it was 2,254,300, and we were going to, my amendment was to move it to 1,254,300.
Where you at? Yeah,
Maybe
she has to
she's
find it
just
here.
alone.
Okay, I'm sorry, page 2, 880 and 827 on the top.
They're looking at a different document.
Yeah, we're looking at a different document here, a lot of council we have that. We're bringing
Okay, you're
back
talking
the
about
old
the
documents
revenue
every
estimate?
week, so we don't have,
No, I'm talking about the what's the
yeah.
legislative, what we had in our legislation, this is what we're working on, the long sheets.
It'll be in your caucus agenda under the legislation on the second page, under appropriations.
It's on our February 24th agenda.
Even tonight's agenda.
I believe.
It's about the third page in from the blue one.
880.
980.
Has ordinance number 9957-2015, it's the long page, second page.
Page 9 of your original.
880, that was going to be transferred, change that, to take the million out of there, but 60,000 has already been changed tonight, so we take $940,000 out of that and change that to 1.251850.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Higgins.
a question of Councilman Troyer. Take it out of there for what?
Okay, I have a list of things that all have to do with this. We have,
Well, where are you going to put it?
I'm sorry. We're going to take it out of that, we're going to take it out of that and leave it where it's at. We're going to leave that money, basically what I'm going to do is leave that money in the sound insulation. So the $1 million does not come out of the sound insulation, that stays. So that's what this attempts to do, but now I have to look into it, and because we've already changed some of that. So that transfer would be decreased by $1 million, so that $1 million would not go in there. Well, actually, we could add it to the, you already have 60 there, so, okay, so the motion is to change the, and again, page 2, 880, change the $2,194,300 to $1,251,850. Move to amend that. Again, I said, move to make that amendment.
Dies for Mike with a second.
No, I second it.
Let's speak into the microphone, Councilwoman. You gotta speak in because I can't hear you.
All right, sorry.
Okay, so the motion's made, properly supported, and under discussion.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Higgins.
I'm a little confused. What are you moving the money for? I mean, I don't want to move money if you're not going to tell me what you're moving it for.
Leaving it in
We're not
the
moving
sound
it.
installation where it should be.
Okay, thank you.
Leaving it in the sound
He's
installation.
proposing no transfer.
Right.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, in essence, then you're asking that the programs we put forward with the $1 million transferred go away, basically?
Well, we could find it somewhere else.
Well, I'm saying the programs we brought forward today, those 5, additionally of whatever they were, you're saying that we shouldn't do those programs? I need to know that now.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it doesn't come out of this fund.
But again, we made the motion to pass it as it stated with the motion we made was to use the programs, the money for that. So in essence, you're telling us to transfer the money back, so we're saying no to those programs, we just made the motion to accept.
No, I'm saying you have to get the money, find the money somewhere else.
No, you're not.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, go ahead.
All right, call the roll, Michelle.
Troyer,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
Higgins,
No.
Bergeron,
No.
Mancini,
No.
Salvatore,
No.
D'Amico.
No.
Mr. Chairman, could I make a statement or an observation? Mr. Salvatore, when he was talking about how much time he put into this budget to decide where he wanted to cut tonight, and how many hours and how long he stayed up at night over it. Last week, when we were in here, Councilman Troyer and I had brought a budget forward, and nobody was in favor, and I don't know who he contacted, but the one person I know he did not contact was me. He knew I was working on a budget, he knew I'd been going over the figures, and if you really wanted to have a consensus of all of council, then you should have contacted all of council. And
Councilwoman, I hear you, but this is something that everybody has to work on, and I've had good discussions with you. I do think everybody needs to communicate, so after the meeting or whatever, I'd suggest you get with some of your colleagues and have that discussion. Do you have further amendments?
Yes, I do. I'll go ahead and do these.
Go ahead.
Okay, 423 sanitation. Okay, increase 821. I'm sorry. Basically, 423 sanitation, the motion is to change it from the appropriations from 1,186,035.22 to 1,100,000. Okay, so 423. Okay, that's the total. All right, so basically what's going to happen here is, this is the whole motion. I'll just do it all in one motion. So the motion, let me go through it. 821 personal services is going to change to 675,000. Reduce 823 contractual services to 2,500. Increase 824 supplies and materials to 422,350. Okay. So that's my.
Is that your motion?
Yeah, and that's the motion.
I support.
There's a motion made, properly supported, under discussion. Michelle, please call a roll on the motion.
Troyer,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
Higgins,
No.
Bergeron,
No.
Mancini,
Yes.
Salvatore,
No. No.
Yea said no.
D'Amico.
No.
Mr. Chairman, I have one more.
Go ahead.
Okay, 429, sewers and drains, changing that from 1,329,880.62 to 930,000. That's reducing 821 personal services to 776,874.35. That's my motion.
I support.
Okay, there's a motion made, properly supported, under discussion. Michelle, please call the roll on the motion.
Troyer.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Higgins.
No.
Bergio.
No.
Mancini.
No.
Salvatore.
No?
D'Amico.
No?
That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Councilman. Michelle, please read ordinance number 9957-2015 as amended.
To provide for the appropriations of the City of Brook Park, State of Ohio for fiscal year ending December 31, 2015, and declaring an emergency, introduced by Mayor Coyne and Councilman D'Amico.
Ordinance number 9957-2015 has had its second reading. Go to item O. We have one under third reading, ordinance number 9956-2015.
Introduced by Mayor Coyne, authorizing the mayor to enter an agreement with the City of Cleveland for mutual aid and assistance in fire protection, and declaring an emergency.
Motion to adopt.
Support.
There's a motion to adopt, properly supported, under discussion. Michelle, please call the roll on adoption.
Higgins.
Yes.
Bergio.
Yes.
Bowers.
No.
Mancini.
Yes.
Salvatore.
Yes.
Troyer.
Yes.
D'Amico.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance number 9956-2015 has been adopted. We need a motion to go into an executive session.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to go to executive session for litigation
Point of
purposes.
order. We have nothing posted, nothing on our agenda.
We don't have to, we can call it from the floor.
Okay, what is
So
this?
there's a motion
Litigation.
What is this concerning?
for possible litigation. There's a motion
Okay, thank you.
for going in for possible litigation. Need a second.
Support.
Okay, there's a motion properly supported. Michelle, please call the roll.
D'Amico.
Yes.
Bergio.
Yes.
Mancini. Bowers.
No, this should be discussed in public.
Higgins.
Yes.
Troyer.
Stay.
Salvatore.
Yes.
Okay, we'll recess into executive session.